All right, guys, the next key factor here is going to be managing your stress levels. And a lot of this does build off what we talked about with sleep, is that those that are more chronically stressed have higher inflammation, and they're more likely to pull from food sources that aren't going to deliver the nutritional value that they want. They're going to seek that quick hit of dopamine from eating something sweet, something fat, something sugary, and it's going to make their pleasure senses go poof. And that's really because they're stressed, right? So you're stressed, you're in this fight or flight response, your cortisol levels skyrocket, and that's essentially your stress, one of your big stress hormones. And what we found is that simple sugars and carbohydrates can actually decrease cortisol temporarily. So people pull these things because their body knows, if I eat that, it's going to make me feel better temporarily. And that temporary feel good goes away, and then you become hungry again, and you're going to pick foods that well, you've already messed up. So you're already eating an excess amount of calories. So it doesn't matter. Maybe you ate this big ass candy bar or this big thing of ice cream, and yeah, sweet tooth is gone. You just had 500 calories, and now you need to eat a meal, which is probably going to be about 500 calories. So an average dessert sitting is probably really similar to the amount of calories that's going to be consumed in a meal, because the dessert calories are so nutritionally, no, not nutritionally dense, but calorically dense, to where it's just going to make you not fill you up, but it's going to give you enough calories to where you could survive off that energy. So that's the big reason there with stress. It can also affect it the opposite way. If you're trying to build muscle or gain weight, it can cause a lot of GI distress. So I can have a lot of like bloating, gassiness, etc. when I eat foods that are actually good for me, because my body isn't ready and able to prepare and process like high fibrous foods, because it's in this fight or flight stress response. So that also feeds into weight loss, is if my body is not able to process the good foods that I need to eat or should be eating, I'm going to pick things that are easier to digest, because I'm not going to be feeling gassy, bloated, etc. So manage your stress. Like, one of my favorite ways to do this is by simple breath work. So I've got a yoga mat that's actually behind this camera, and every morning I hop on that yoga mat. I do some breath work. I just slow down 5-10 minutes, do a little bit of movement, a little bit of exercise. Then after that, if I want to have caffeine, then I can have caffeine. For me, I'm very sensitive to caffeine, and caffeine is one of those agents or supplements that really can spike your stress levels. So if you do have chronic stress, or if you feel like you're in a chronic stress state, I would suggest backing off the amount of caffeine and spending more time down regulating, whether it's through breath work or yoga. I find breath work's easier to do than meditation, and that's just because, like, really meditation is focusing on one thing, and that is what breath work is. You're just focusing on that one thing over a long period of time. With meditation, you're like, if you're new to it, you think that you have to think about nothing, and that stress or worry about, oh, I'm actually thinking about something, can cause you to feel more stress, which is not the goal of meditation. So I hope you learned a little bit about stress and can take away some of these tools and apply them to your weight loss strategy.